Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of Miyabi's theory crafting session. This video will be really short and simple. With seeing her W engine passive and her drive disk stats, we can finally see her thriving on her own. But before I start the video, I'd like to promote my Discord server, which is pinned in the comment section below. So without further ado, let's get started. Previously on my video, I was disappointed mainly because of the fact that Miyabi felt like she didn't have an actual set for her. And I felt like the problem with Miyabi was, and still is specifically, the dependency on the other S-rank agents that we've seen so far in any other Hoyo games. And sadly, this is still the case. However, with the new set that they released with her W engine finally showing, we can see a specific agent going down in playstyle and being less favorable than she currently was, which is Burnice. It doesn't mean that if you have her you're officially cooked, but rather if you're going to have Yanagi and Burnice with Miyabi and Miyabi, Burnice will be the least favored build unit in the squad to be added. Because of that, we need to look at her new set and her new W engine. In my previous video, I was using 4-piece polar metal with 2-piece woodpecker. However, with the new set, it is simply easy to understand and we can explain it in a very simple way. With 2-piece set effect, it increases your attack by 10%, and her 4-piece set is, if you have 115 Anomaly Mastery or higher, you're going to gain crit damage that is increased by 25%, and if you apply Freeze or trigger Shatter, your attack is increased by an additional 15%. And with her W engine passive being finally out, her W engine gives her 744 attack and 24% crit rate. And on top of that, her W engine passive is insanely busted. The crit hit damage of the ice damage is increased by 48%, and when you use her EX special, or if anyone in the squad applies an anomaly attribute that affects the enemy, your ice damage is also increased by an additional 20%, and it stacks up twice. And oh my god, this is just so much for any unit. The W engine passive is so insanely strong that it makes up for the damage lag she had on my previous calculations. With her current playstyle and easy usage, she will be without a doubt a very strong agent. But again, the issue here isn't from me. However, we don't want to be excited because there will be a nerf to her damage without a doubt. With Yanagi on the team, along with Ceasr, the Miyabillion squad reached 10,233,000 DPR, with each character in the team on M0R1. And for reference, the highest damage dealing team on my previous video was Yanagi, and it was reaching 8 million. And in both cases, the enemies were stunned. However, when the enemy isn't stunned, the Miyabillion squad did 6.8 million DPR, almost 6.9 million DPR. And since majority of the time, Yanagi won't be on field and Chaos Jazz is being used at its fullest potential, Miyabi is taking majority of the field time, making sure that she will shatter and deal more damage to the enemies. This issue in itself is not the fact that you can reach it with other characters. As a matter of fact, if we test the team with Miyabi, Burnice and Ceasr, the damage is 7 million while enemy is stunned. However, if they weren't, the damage reach is 5 million DPR. And again, this isn't bad considering the fact that Miyabi is heavily blocked around Yanagi. Miyabi will need disorder damage to be dealt in order for her to gain the Frostfall stack. You can stack it 3 times with Yanagi. However, the process will be longer with other agents. Even with Burnice around, the amount of disorders you'll deal at the end is going to define how well your Miyabi's damage is going to be. And these calculations are all based on a worst case scenario. If you'll use the Miyabillion squad, expect to deal more damage or even enemies dying before even getting into the rotation. However, and keep this in mind, the game is shifting the whole mechanics as we know, and the damage requirement will be increased. If we don't see any sort of detailed explanation, I cannot give an accurate answer with how fast you'll be ulting. In case you're wondering if we can use any A rank W engine, there will be 2 choices at best. The best choice being Lip Gloss and second to it being Roaring Right. That is if you want a W engine that provides you with more value and buffs. However, since we want to use Miyabi with 96% crit rate, you're going to need a lot of substats that favor the crit rate stat. So using an S rank W engine or even an A rank W engine just to fill the missing crit rate is going to be pretty much what she needs. And keep this in mind, the fact that majority of the W engines don't really have this massive impact on her damage as her best in slot, you're going to see that the damage loss is significant. She'll suffer a lot. Even when I consider to use Steel Cushion instead, her damage dropped massively, and that doesn't have a passive, since attack W engines don't function with anomaly units or any other sort of playstyle as a matter of fact. But let's look at A rank W engines that she can make use of, with Lip Gloss reaching 9.1 million DPR while the enemies are stunned, with Yanagi and Ceasr in the team. And Yanagi was holding another Electro Lip Gloss on P5. It seems functional and really great, but let's bring ourselves back to reality and not be in the Delulu land. There is no way we can gain that damage unless we wait for another 6 patches. If you got the Battle Pass W engine and you kept getting Anomaly since release, you'll have this awesome result in 6 patches. And on top of that, you're going to need to invest heavily on crit rate substats to make things function well with her, because again, as I mentioned, you're going to be needing 96% crit rate for Miyabillion team to deal the massive damage. So overall, things look very positive for Miyabi, and honestly I'm quite happy with seeing these numbers. But I can't bring myself to say this because I know Hoya will kill the joy that we have for this damage that we are seeing right now. We will for sure see her multipliers going down along with her damage. And for her free-to-play options, there are no A rank W engines that help you out with the issue that Miyabi currently has, because at the end of the day, she is a crit stat agent that is anomaly at the same time. And on top of that, it looks like you'll pay a hefty price in game to get nearly all your substats on crit rate with her. But until we get new changes, we have reached the end. Hopefully I've earned your subscription today. If I didn't, let me know in the comment section below if I said anything wrong. Also, please consider joining my Discord. It's pinned in the comment section and video description. See you in the next one.